Namaskaram everyone. Welcome to the guided meditation session of Vivekananda Samiti under guidance of Swami Atmashraddhananda Maharaj. We'll have chantings followed by reading from complete works of Swami Vivekananda. We are currently reading inspired talks, and afterwards we'll have guided meditation session, and in the end we'll have question answer session. Maharaj, you can begin.
Yes. Thank you, Ankush, and thank you for all the effort for organizing it despite hurdles. Yesterday we could not hold the session because of some technical issue from the institute side. So I am here in Chandigarh, our ashram at Chandigarh. So it's a little different setting than what it used to be elsewhere when I am speaking from Kanpur ashrama. So we will begin. We'll begin with the chanting. I have come here to take part in the annual lecture series on the life and teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swami Vivekananda. So let us begin with the chanting. Please close your eyes. Let us tune ourselves to listening to these Sanskrit mantras, these Shanti mantras. Listening to them with concentration has got a great soothing effect on our body and mind. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shanno Mitrasham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnururukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Om Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. Oh. Now we shall read from the inspired talks of Swami Vivekananda. As you know, these are the talks which Swami Vivekananda gave offhand, and it is not an organized thing like a lecture. So this is like a collection of quotations which are given by Swamiji, words were spoken at Swamiji. So I shall read from a section. Books cannot teach God, but they can destroy ignorance. Their action is negative. To hold to the books and at the same time open the way to freedom is Adi Shankara's great achievement. But after all, it's a kind of hair splitting. Give man first the concrete, then raise him to the highest by slow degree. This is the effort of the various religions and explains their existence and why each is suited to some stage of development. The very books are a part of the ignorance they help to dispel. The duty is to drive out ignorance that has come upon knowledge. Truth shall drive out untruth. You are free and cannot be made so. So long as you have a creed, you have no God. He who knows, he knows nothing. Who can know the knower? There are two central facts in existence, God and universe. The former changeable and the latter unchangeable and the latter changeable. The word exists eternally. When your mind cannot grasp the amount of change, you call it eternally. You see the stone or the bas relief on it, but not both at once. Yet both are one. The greatest sin is to think yourself weak. No one is greater. Realize you are Brahman. Nothing has power except that you give it. We are beyond the sun, the stars, the universe. Teach the Godhead of man. Deny evil. Create none. Stand up and say, I am the master of all. We force the chain and we alone can break it. No action can give you freedom. Only knowledge can make you free. Knowledge is irresistible. The mind cannot take it or reject it. When it comes, the mind has to accept it. So it is not a work of the mind, only its expression comes in the mind. Work or worship is to bring you back to your own nature. It's an entire illusion that the self is the body. So even while living here in the body, we can be free. The body has nothing in common with the self. Illusion is taking the real for the unreal, not nothing at all. This is our reading for today. I shall slightly now explain what has been just read. It's more of like a contemplation than really explaining upon what Swamiji has said. It's my little understanding. Swamiji says that book cannot teach God, but they can destroy ignorance and their action is negative. To hold to the books and at the same time open the way to freedom is Shankara's great achievement. Now think of it. Swamiji's statement that book cannot teach God is a new thing for many people. Because we think to become spiritual, you should begin by reading Bhagavad Gita or reading some sacred book. Could be complete work of Swamiji or the Upanishads or some authentic literature on spirituality. Well, this statement of Swami Vivekananda should be seen from a very philosophical and deeply mystical angle. When he says the book cannot teach God, it is also followed by another statement that they can destroy ignorance. They cannot teach God, but they can destroy ignorance. Their action is negative. So what kind of ignorance? That is, we have a negative understanding of God, a negative understanding of religion, then it can remove, like logic. So logic is a very interesting thing. There was a person who said, oh, I have stopped believing in giving charity or believing in God. Why? Oh, mere ko kitni baar dhokha hua. I have been cheated many times. I don't believe in it. Then the person who was listening was a very wise man. He said, look, you have eaten many times and you have also suffered from indigestion many times. So did you stop eating further? Or have you succeeded in everything? You were many times playing football. You fell down. Did you stop playing football? Or you were doing business and you suffered a loss. So did you stop doing business? So why this, complete removal of all the spiritual and noble things? Yes, we may make mistakes, we may slip, but ultimately we shall be able to reach the goal. So this is proper utilization of the power of logic. So similarly, the books, they remove this kind of wrong understanding. But actual experience of God happens in the heart, in our deepest core of our being, where I don't need any book to prove this to me. I don't need any argument. I just feel, just as I don't need any argument or anything to say that I exist. I exist. That's it. This is aham jnanam. I am. That's it. You don't have to tell me that I exist. I myself know it. It is known as samvedya. I feel it. It is perceived by myself. In the same way, God is to be perceived. But books help us to clarify certain ideas. Then Swamiji says, give man first the concrete, then raise him to the highest by slow degrees. So we give them concrete forms. We give them, go to the temple, worship, have an image. It's a concrete image. But slowly try to go beyond the image. How will you go beyond the image? When you discover, like Sri Ramakrishna did, he began by saying that, oh, Mother Kali, she is there. And then she said, is this only a stone, or are you really existing? There is something behind this stone. There is something inside it. So he started praying to Mother. He developed that intense longing for knowing God. And when he finally had that experience, because his mind had become very, very pure. So longing and purity of mind, both are important. So in pure mind, where there is no greed, no jealousy, no desire, no depression also, and no kind of negative thing, or no hankering, no desire for flesh also. So when you become that extreme purity has come, then what happens? Then Sri Ramakrishna sees everything is filled with consciousness. Mother's image is made of consciousness. The altar on which the image is kept is also consciousness. So also all are consciousness. The floor, the puja vessels, the cat standing nearby, everything is made of same material. What an experience that is. This is what Swamiji is saying. This books cannot teach God. They can take you to a particular intellectual understanding. Beyond that, it is the feeling, it is a purification of heart that really works. The very books are a part of the ignorance they help to dispel. So they are not Vidya Maya. Sri Ramakrishna calls Maya as two types, Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya. Vidya Maya is that which helps us to free. And Avidya Maya is that increases only the bondage. Their duty is to drive out the ignorance that has come upon knowledge. Again, Swamiji says, the greatest sin is to think yourself weak. No one is greater. Realize you are Brahman. Nothing has power except that you give it. We are beyond the sun, the star, the universe. Teach the godhood of man. Deny evil. Create none. Stand up and say, I am the master, master of all. We force the chain and we alone can break it. So this is an important thing to remember, that we should always try to affirm our divinity and not be caught up only in what we call as our own mistakes, our negative thoughts, our limitations, our regrets, our worries. No, we go beyond that and try to assert our divine nature, which is a fact. Our divinity is not a conjured up some concept started by somebody. It is an experience It is an expression of an experience which the rishis have had, and which afterwards many more people had and many more people will have. So let's have faith in that truth, the truth of our divinity. But please remember that famous statement from the Shvetashatar Upanishad, where the rishi says, Shunvantu Vishwamritasya Putraha Aye Dhamani Vishwani Dastu Vedahametum Purusham Mahantam. Vedahametum means I know that Purusham. Purusham means that divinity. I know that divinity, and I am that, he says. So this is a first-hand expression. Just as you return from America and somebody starts telling you, oh, whether America exists or not, and you tell him, well, I'm returning from America. I know what is what. Or somebody comes from Kashmir and he has experienced all the horrible things there, which happened, say, some years back. So you deny it, no such thing happened. He says, I am a witness to that. So similarly, this is called Pratyakshadarshi. So similarly, our own divinity, there are Pratyakshadarshis. So that Pratyakshadarshi is saying that let us remember that we are God. Essentially, we are divine. And by God, I don't mean that we have to say that I am the creator of the universe. No, not that type of thinking. That's called Ishvara. Beyond Ishvara, there is our own divinity. So Ishvara is present in all of us, but we are all small Ishvaras, very, very small Ishvaras, all of us. Suppose there is an ant going in front of your table. You suddenly want to play with the ant. You put your finger. It turns this side, it turns that side. Or you take it and you just mush it up. So you have that much power over the ant. You can't do it with an elephant. Rather, you have to make way. And there are mighty forces in the universe. You can't do anything beyond them. So we are all Vyashti Ishvaras, small Ishvaras, very, very small Ishvaras. When that Ishvaratva in us becomes infinite, it is known as Samashti Ishvara, the cosmic Ishvara in us. And there is divinity even beyond that, beyond the Ishvara, which is beyond our mind and intellect. Try to kind of, awaken that. Further, Swamiji says, no action can give you freedom, only knowledge can make you free. Knowledge is irresistible, mind cannot take it or reject it. When it comes, the mind has to accept it. So mind is more powerful, and knowledge is more powerful than the action. So we should learn to, get completely immersed in the knowledge of ourselves, not simply doing some actions, though actions have got some role to make us grow. Further, Swamiji says, work or worship is to bring you back to your own nature. So work means karma yoga, worship means bhakti yoga. So work, when you go on doing work in a very hard work, committed work, at the same time, you know that this work is not everything for me. So you become kind of, you develop a sense of detachment, anasakti. Before I speak of anasakti, you know what is asakti? So one of the monks used to play upon the word. He says, asakti क्या होती है? जो कहीं से भी आ सकती है और इतनी आसानी से जा नहीं सकती. It can come from anywhere. Attachment can happen to anything anywhere, but इतनी आसानी से जा नहीं सकती. It doesn't go so easily. That's called asakti, which means attachments develop for small things also. People are there, they are so attached to a cup of coffee or a pair of shoes, without that which they feel their life is of no use. When I was in Chennai, I remember one incident when a young man who was so much enamored by a bike, when he asked his father to give and father could not give because he could not afford it, the man killed himself. Remember that little fellow of 17, 18. For him, everything lies in that bike. So this is called attachment. Otherwise, you can live without that also. For life, for breathing, you don't need a bike. For breathing, you don't need any of these things which we think are necessary. All that we need is a body with healthy organs and air and 2 nostrils and chest. That's it. And food is taking normal. That's sufficient. You don't require other things to make you alive. You have thought that you will not be alive if you don't have bike, or if you don't have some other such thing, you replace it with anything else. So Swami says we should be always free from attachment. No action can give you freedom. Now, work or worship is to bring you back. If you do work in a detached manner, you will develop the inner purity in a detached way, or you do worship without seeking anything worldly in return. Then you will know your own divine nature. Then he explains illusion. What is illusion? Illusion is that you are restricted to this body. It's an entire illusion that the self is the body. So even while living here in the body, we can be free. We can be free from the idea that I am. It's just like saying that you are in the car. You are not the car. You are in the car, but you are not the car. Similarly, we are in the body, but we are not the body. Body is subject to all kinds of changes. It was a small baby. It became a small boy. Then became a young man. Now it is not a young man anymore. It is a declining years. Then it is an old man. Then it is a very informed. That's completely inactive now. It becomes too old. Now it has to die. That's the nature of everything which is created. This body thing idea is not just our body. Any animal body is also like that. Any tree is also like that. According to Hindus, it is even the earth is like that. Even the whole universe will become old. Buddha. It will become an old universe. And then God will take it back. A new universe will be created. That's called pralaya. Prakarsha rupena laya iti. Which is completely dissolved. That's called pralaya. Not destruction. Dissolved. Anyway, finally he says, illusion is taking the real for the unreal and nothing at all. Or not nothing at all. Illusion doesn't mean nothing is there. No, it is there. It is understanding that which was unreal, which means that which is not eternal as eternal. It is not that it doesn't exist. It is kind of a mixing up. So this is our reading for today. So before we begin our meditation now, please sit straight. Keep your head and neck straight. Don't be bending it forward. Keep it straight, but not overstretched. Likewise, keep your spine straight, your chest straight. Your spine should be straight. Take a long breath. Fill your lungs. Fill right up till the belly button. And then again, release. Do it 3 times. Now relax. Stiram Sukham Asanam. We should sit in a steady and very comfortable posture for meditation. Let us remind ourselves that we are now going to sit for meditation. We have faith in meditation and we shall be able to practice it well. We are not restless. We are not going to wait for the timing or when it will get over. No, we shall sit in a relaxed manner. We are fortunate that we are able to meditate. We are healthy. We are strong. We are endowed with certain preparation to meditate. Let us mentally feel relaxed. Let us try to feel the freshness of the mind when we go to a place of natural beauty. It could be a small green garden or a jungle or overlooking the mountains or river bank or the seashore, calm and quiet seashore where so many waves are making silent sound near some trees, or just the quiet jungle of, let's say, Uttarakhand or some other place which we can recall. We are sitting quietly, peacefully, with eyes closed, and mind filled with positive feelings. The feeling of cheerfulness, of being satisfied, the feeling of joy, the feeling of forgiveness, the feeling of great inner fulfillment. Let us not think of the negative feelings. Let's not worry about your past mistakes or worries of future. Let us be positive. As our mind is filled with joy and peace and satisfaction and is calm, we are visualizing this, we are suggesting it to our mind to cultivate these things. And we also pray for the well-being of everyone. All those who are attending this meditation session, we pray for each one of us. And all those who are not part of this, all those infinite number of living beings of all places, of all countries and times. May no one be harmed. May no one suffer misery and pain. May all be safe. May all be healthy. May all do right things. May those who are on the wrong path come to the right path. Those who are on the right path may go deeper into their understanding. And those who have attained spiritual growth, inner growth, may they serve others, help others to attain the same. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Now let us mentally, very respectfully offer our salutations to God in His infinite forms. People worship the divine reality in different forms. Our pranam, our namaskar, Our salutations to that being and to all the great masters of meditation. May their blessings, may their understanding and wisdom guide us. Let us bring our mind to the present moment. The present moment, which consists of being meditating, all of us are sitting with closed eyes. Be aware of your body. Various limbs of the body. Think of both your legs, both the feet, the soles of the feet. Feel that. Feel the ground or feel the carpet on which you are sitting. Feel the heel, both the feet. Feel the toes also. It's being aware of both the feet, which are so very essential for us. The calf muscles, the knee joint, the thighs, the hip joint. Be aware of both the legs. The upper body, the spine, from the bottom of the spine to the top of the spine, the shoulders, chest, the lungs, the heart inside, the digestive tract and the system. Try to be aware of all this. Both the hands, the fingers, and the fingertips. The palms, elbows, upper arms, neck, head, the shoulders, the forehead, ears, eyes, nose, cheeks, and the chin. Think of the closed eyes, the calm face, and the still body. Think of the breathing, the power within the body activated by breathing. The prana shakti, which manifests as beating of the heart, working of the various organs, and the breathing. Think of that shakti in us, the prana shakti. As we think of the Prana Shakti, think of your breathing, how we breathe in and breathe out. Through the nostrils, draw the air to the windpipe, to the lungs, right up to the belly button, and again back. As you breathe in, feel that you are breathing in goodness, peace, holiness. And throwing out all restlessness, all that makes our mind unpeaceful. And now let's go beyond and think of our mind. The mind which is thinking, which is trying to meditate, the mind which is collecting all the thoughts back into itself. How the mind goes away along with some thoughts, some feeling, some memory. Just observe it. Be an observer to your own inner mechanisms. As you observe the mind, observe our thoughts, the mind begins to slowly become, the number of thoughts will become less. And slowly, like falling down of the various waves, now the mind is slowly calming down. Let's try to visualize in the center of the chest an object for our inner meditation, inner concentration. Think of some object, the face of a Devi or Devata or the full form, or think of any other object like the candle burning and its flame, unmoving, unwaving flame. Now let us chant Om once, long Om, and try to find that point for our inner focus, that point, that visualized form of God or flame of a burning candle in the middle of the chest. Let's have faith that it is there and have faith that we can concentrate on that through repeated practice, we shall be able to do it. So let us chant Om once. Om. Now with closed eyes, we shall be trying to concentrate. For some time, you can do repetition of God's name, any God's name which you like, inwardly, and then keep the mind inwardly focused. We shall meditate like this for a few minutes. Now let us conclude by prayer. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityor ma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Now slowly open the eyes. That's the end of our meditation session. If you have any questions, you're welcome.
Thanks, Maharaj. You can